Hello, hello. How are you, friends? It's time to freaking post. Are you looking to attract the right people in your business? Are you tired of posting on social media and feeling like you're getting no engagement? Like nobody is liking the things that you're sharing, nobody's commenting on the things that you're posting, nobody's engaging. It almost feels like pulling teeth, right? And fighting with the Facebook algorithm in order to get people to see what it is that you're doing. Or getting them to watch your stories or your reels or your live videos or even on your team pages and getting the engagement on your teams, right? I want to talk to you about that today. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to come speak with you about this because social media is something that I'm super, super passionate about. And I can literally talk about this all day, so I'm going to be super conscious of your time. But anyway, hello, hi, say hi as you're jumping on. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I know that this group is growing. There's a lot of consultants here, and so we are all over the place. I would love to see, where everybody is tuning in from. Did I say my name already? Anyway, my name is Patty, Patricia Morrow. I am a superstar director with Scentsy. I've been with Scentsy for 6 years, a little over 6 years, and I'm not going to bore you with my story at all, but I am going to tell you a little piece of like how I got to this space in my business in just a second. So yes, awesome. Florida. Hey, Meredith. Oh, Nebraska. Look at this. Canada. Awesome. So do me a favor, as you're tuning in and you're letting me know where you're from, go ahead. If you are a leader and you have a team, tag them in this training, okay? Because this is going to be very beneficial, all right? And as leaders, we always want to make sure that we're teaching and educating people as best we can and pointing them to resources. So I really feel like this is going to be helpful to tag your team members as well. All right, awesome. Look at everybody jumping on. I'm so excited. So first of all, let me know who currently uses social media, like actively uses social media in your business. And if so, what's your platform of choice? Are you Facebook? Are you Instagram? Do you use Reels? Do you do live videos? Are you, more comfortable in stories? Like where is like your forte when it comes to social media? Or maybe you haven't really dove into the social media aspect, right? And that's fine. That's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm so excited that we get the opportunity to hang here together and discuss, okay? So, like I said, I have been with Scentsy for 6 years, okay? Just to give you a little backstory, I came into this and grew my business through Facebook parties. My team is all over the US because of Facebook parties, okay? So we have team members all the way on the West Coast. We have team members all the way here on the East Coast. And so that just goes to show you the power of social media, right? Like you can literally meet anybody, anywhere through social media. Social media is the fastest way to grow. Online, period. I don't care. Social media is the fastest way to grow your business, okay? In addition, of course, parties and networking and things like that, of course, are always going to be vital to the success of your business. But if you really want to step up your game and you really want to grow your business fast and meet people fast and make the right connections fast and be intentional about the connections that you're making, okay, I'm telling you, social media is where it's at. And so I want to talk to you today a little bit about the things that maybe some people aren't talking about. Okay, I want to talk to you about some things that we don't discuss enough in Scentsy specifically, but also in like the network marketing industry. And a lot of times people join this business and they are taught inauthentic ways to share on social media unintentionally because they were taught a certain way and then that person was taught a certain way and then that person was taught a certain way, right? And so I'm not saying what I'm going to share with you is like the end all be all or that I'm some crazy expert that I know it all, because I'm always learning, I'm always evolving. There's always things that I'm trying and doing and also failing at too, but I will tell you what I have noticed has worked since I changed my mindset on this and since I kind of changed the direction of how I'm posting about my business, okay? So let's reel it back in. You'll also know by the end of this that I'm a squirrel. I tend to go off on tangents without realizing. So if at any point you need to reel me in, just start dropping some like emojis in the comments and we'll be good, okay? I'll promise I'll pull it back in. So, okay, we're seeing Facebook, Instagram story, Reels. Yes, I love this. Meredith says she shares on both. Look at this. Awesome. Yes, Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so real quick, I will tell you guys Oh, so see, I spiraled. That's what I was saying. So I grew my business of Facebook parties, okay? After a long time, let's say, of growing my business of Facebook parties, I started doing home parties, and I saw the value that home parties gave me because it was quicker PRV. I was able to go in and easily have like upwards of 500 PRV from a home party alone. I had instant connections with people, in-person, conversations, which I love. And so I kind of dipped back from Facebook parties because I felt like Facebook parties got to a point where I wasn't getting engagement. My hosts were not active. I felt like I was pulling teeth to get people to order or to even get them to comment on my stuff. Raise your hand right now. I want to see in the comments, raise your hand right now if you feel like you are exhausting yourself with Facebook parties and nobody's engaging on anything that you're sharing. Because I can probably guarantee that almost everybody watching this video has felt that way at one point or another. And if you are skilling your Facebook parties, please come on here and share the tips of what you're doing, because it is what it is. I really feel like as an industry, we have evolved to where parties are really not, all right, maybe I shouldn't say this in this group, but I really feel like we got to a space in the direct selling industry where parties are kind of like yesterday's news, right? Does anybody feel like that? And I'm not saying that you can't, because I still do things like this in my business. I have VIP links for my customers. I still, do things like that, but I want to help you get in the mindset of knowing how to effectively use social media. And I really feel like when you effectively use social media, you're like, well, why am I wasting my time trying to come up with a Facebook party that nobody's engaging on? My hosts are not listening. They're not engaging. I tell them to do X, Y, and Z, and they're still not doing it, right? You see, everybody, right? I can see you all feel that way, right? So long story short, I went to the home party route, okay? Again, because I just saw it was quicker. I'm somebody, I don't like to waste time. That's my thing. And so I don't care if I get told no, I just don't want to waste time. And so that's why for me, home parties, it was quicker. I was able to go in, get my PRV, make my connections, and not really have to do that. So I stopped Facebook parties. But let me tell you something. First of all, you should always be evolving and trying new things. That's the first thing. But the second thing is that when the world turned upside down in 2020, many of us, including myself, stopped doing in-person parties. How many of you are home party people? And how many of you have kind of stopped that since 2020? I would like to know. We probably are all in the same boat, right? We stopped kind of doing the in-person thing. And I know now it's kind of getting a little better and people are starting to do that a little bit more. And if it's working for you, great. Continue to do that, okay? But for me, I felt like in the past 2 years, I really hadn't posted anything, I hadn't really done any home parties. I hadn't done vendor shows, craft fairs, or anything like that because I couldn't get together in person. And so what I did was I adapted to my circumstances and I said, we have become digital. We have pretty much gone into this hyper growth season where everything is online. And so I need to adapt to my circumstances and not throw a pity party for myself as to why I can't get parties booked. And I really need to figure out how to do social media in the right way that's worth my time. Okay, because remember I said I'm somebody where I don't like wasting time. I would rather just be super hyper focused on something and know that in the long run it's going to be worth it than me jumping through hoops trying to figure out what's not working in my business, okay? Right? I joined in 2020. I've yet to book a home party. Yeah, and look, see, no one wants to do parties online. They got burned out with them. Algorithms have changed. Yes. Oh my gosh, the Facebook algorithm is the worst. But yeah, it's a struggle, right? And so anyway, here we are now, fast forwarding. This is how I got to this space in my business where I really decided to dive into social selling is what we're calling it now, okay? Direct sales, network marketing, that's just what you probably have heard that term. People have been talking about is social selling. It's literally sharing your business online, and intentional marketing, attracting people to your business, attracting people to the content that you're sharing, attracting people to wanting to know more about what it is that you're doing. And so I fully immersed myself in learning about social media. I invested in courses, I've invested in trainings and challenges and following all sorts of accounts of people who are killing it in this industry. And I've learned so much, all right? And so I want to share today with you what I've learned. I'm still always learning. So again, what I say is not the end all be all, but it has definitely helped me, okay? So where was I going with that? I told you, I'm a squirrel. I'm like, totally forgot. Okay, so I want to talk to you today about finding your target market, your ideal audience, okay? This is a term you might hear. Maybe you've never heard it before, and that's fine. Again, I'm going to talk to you today about things that we never really speak about. People don't really train on this, I don't feel, and because we've been in this like cycle of like teaching people to post certain ways when they come in, it's not conducive. Let me just tell you, I know I'm scoring low. I promise there's a method to my madness. You, especially as leaders or even a new consultant that is just coming in here, if you come into this business and you join and you throw up a post telling people you sell Scentsy and to shop your website or to join your launch party or to do whatever, that is not conducive for your business. It might be in the moment, but it's not in the long run, okay? And so we got to stop teaching our people to share corporate flyers from the marketing tab. I know it's like, because we're grateful we have these resources from Scentsy and many other amazing consultants who make flyers and things like that, but those things are not standing out online. There are like 200,000 consultants in Scentsy, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if it's not more than that, right? But think about all of those consultants sharing the same exact images. And every time there's an LTO or every time there's like something that comes out, everybody's blasting those corporate flyers, right? Or flyers that are just made. And I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying that that is not doing anything to help you stand out online. You are literally falling into a sea of people who are doing the same exact thing. And people do business with those who they know, like, and trust, and people who they feel connected to, okay? So they can choose anybody to buy from, to host with, and to join. And so what are you doing? What are you sharing? What are you posting that is helping you stand out, that is making them want to join you or making them want to do business with you? Okay, so that's what we're going to dive into. So I told you a little bit, target audience. We want to find out who those people are, okay? Because you can post your business and like you could post for everybody, like with the intention to be like, okay, I'm going to share about my business and anybody who wants it, well, come and get it. That right there too is not helping. We want to find out who those people are. Who are the people that are going to need our opportunity? Who are the people that are going to need our products? Who are the people that really like we want to connect with and we want to serve? I want to help you get in the mindset of service, because as a business owner, it's service based, right? We are serving people, and it's the same thing on social media. If there's any like aha moment that you take from this training, somebody put this in the comments or write this down. One thing that I want you to take, if there's anything from this, is anytime you post something on social media, before you post it, ask yourself, is this benefiting me or the person that I'm looking to serve? If you ask yourself that question before every single post, you will literally like reanalyze. And you'll be like, wait, hold on, nope, it's not for, I shouldn't post it. It's not for the person I'm looking to serve, right? Like if you ask yourself that question every single time, you will be so intentional about your content, okay? So again, it's called finding your target market. A lot of times people refer to it as your ideal customer, your ideal team member, which I personally gravitate towards. I want to connect with my ideal team member. It might be your ideal customer for you, your ideal audience, your target market, your niche, like there's so many different like little words for it, but basically it's just a fancy word for creating content for a specific person. Okay, now again, ask yourself, if this is, before I post, does this benefit me or the person that I'm looking to serve, right? You're creating content for that specific person. I'm going to dive in and tell you how you can figure out who that is, okay? When you try to appeal to everybody, you're literally appealing to nobody, okay? Being too general leads to little or no growth. In fact, I'm telling you. So if you're sharing Scentsy and then you're posting your favorite recipes and then you're talking about your pets or your kids, and then you're talking about your latest trip to Target, and then, right? And sometimes we feel like, well, isn't that like how we relate with people, like by sharing different things about ourselves? Absolutely, okay? And I think that there's a time and a place I think stories are really great for that. I think stories specifically are really great for showing people the behind the, why can't I speak? The behind the scenes of who you are. I think stories is a great place to do that, and you should continue to do that. But if all of your content is about Scentsy and your favorite recipes and your kids and your dogs and I don't know, like, I mean, anything, politics, sports, whatever, if you're sharing all of these things, you are literally attracting so many different types of people that you're not giving any room to really connect with anybody on any like specific level, okay? So growth is found deep by going in one area. And I'm going to give you a plain example. I did a training the other night where I talked about this too. But back in 2020, when the world went upside down, I went off the deep end myself, as many people did in this world. And I started sharing really negative things on social media. Let's just call it that. Like I got very political, which I definitely don't suggest to do. It was kind of like negative, right? And so anyway, I kind of was like, okay, that's not conducive for my business. Definitely not doing that again. But I got to a point, my point is that when I was sharing these things, I was attracting people of the same mindset of me. Okay, so even though it was negative, it was like, that's what negativity does. It breeds negativity. More people comment on it. And anyway, so I was sharing my beliefs, my opinions, my things that I felt compelled to like share with people because at the time it felt important. And so anyway, then I had all this engagement. I had so many new followers or friends that all of a sudden saw my post and were like, yes, I agree. And everybody agreed with me and it was great. And I'm over here like, oh, this is great. I'm making all these new connections. This is awesome. But guess what? When I went to share Scentsy, they didn't care. They did not care. They cared, and they followed me for the things that I was sharing, those negative, politics. That's what I was doing. And so without making this too long, it wasn't right. So I connected with them on that level. What you put on social media is what you're going to attract. Okay. So at the time I was sharing politics. I was sharing my views, and therefore people will relate on things that they resonate with, right? Like you probably, as you're scrolling, the things that you comment or engage on are probably things that you feel compelled to comment on because you connect with it in some way, you relate to it in some way, and so you engage on it, you comment on it. You're not going to share, engage, or comment on something that's not relevant to you, right? So that was what was happening with me, with the politics. Everybody was commenting on the things that they felt compelled because they agreed with it. So when I went to finally share Scentsy, that had nothing to do with that. And I got crickets on my Scentsy post. And I believe, I like to try and say that I share pretty authentically when it comes to Scentsy. But I didn't get anything on there because you know what? That wasn't for those people. My Scentsy posts weren't for those people who wanted politics. My politics stuff was for those people. Okay? And anyway, I'm not making this political, but I'm just making a point that your content, your business is not going to be for everybody. Okay? So I want you guys to swallow that pill right now and know that everything that you share on social media is not for everybody. You might even, once you start like doing this whole target market that we're talking about, you might even start to lose people. You might even start to lose followers, lose friends, have people unfollow the things that you're saying and doing because it's not for them. It's not for them, and that is fine. You are here to find the right people, and that's what I want to help you do today, okay? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Does this make sense, or am I overwhelming you already? Because I tend to do that too. Right? So, okay. So finding your target market, your ideal person. Let's just say your ideal person. That's the better word, okay? I first want to ask you, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? What is something that you can talk endlessly for days and days and days with your eyes closed and maybe even teach somebody, okay? Put it in the comments. I would love to know, just randomly. What is something that you're passionate about? And listen, I want to help you veer from not only talking about Scentsy, but I know that Scentsy, this is what, we're all passionate about Scentsy. But let's put Scentsy aside for a second. If it didn't have to do with Scentsy, what is something that you're passionate about? I can tell you some things that I'm passionate about. I love farmhouse decor. I don't know if I can necessarily like teach it to people, but I love farmhouse decor. I love, what else do I love? I love shopping at Target and Home Goods. Those are like two favorite places that I like to go. I love my children. I love, I don't know. I'm bad at thinking off the top of my head, but just drop some places. Look at this: crafting, family, home decor, decorating, Disneyland. Oh, look at this. See, look, we got 2 people who love Disney already. I see that. Pets, right? If there's something that you could literally talk about with your eyes closed and be like, this lights me on fire, I could talk about it all the time, and I can show people and teach them this, that's your passion. Family and camping, food, okay? Teaching and being an advocate for my students and reading, Disney. Look at this. We saw Disney 3 times already. I saw it. It might even be in here more, right? So, interesting perspective. Okay, elephant ears this time of year. Camping, dogs, travel. Look at this, right? So for those of you who may have friends on here watching now, or team members on here watching now, like, did you know these things about these people yet? Did you know anything about them, right? So I already saw Disney like 4 or 5 times, right? Look at that. Look how many people on this one video alone have Disney in common. I mean, think about if you started sharing your passions, who you could relate with on social media, right? People connect and relate with things that they feel connected to, okay? So that's the first thing, is I want you to think, what are you passionate about, okay? So write this down if you're taking notes, or feel free somebody to put it in the comments. Number 1 is, what are you passionate about? The second thing you're going to do to find, right, because we're talking about how to find this ideal person. The second thing that you want to talk about, or I'm sorry, that you want to write down is, who do you want to serve? Okay? Who specifically do you want to serve? Okay, this is something that might take a little bit of time. You don't even have to put it down here in the comments if you don't feel compelled to. But I'm saying that it's going to take some time. It might even evolve over a few weeks. I'm still trying to figure out exactly who I want to serve. And I really started diving into this since in February. But, you know, so it's going to evolve. Just know that as you evolve, as you change, that's going to change too. Okay, so who do you want to serve? Where do they shop? Do they have kids? What do they do for a living? What are their hobbies? Do they like to cook? Are they, you know, outdoors people? Like, I don't know. Who are these people? Start writing things down. And what you will come to see is that you probably will start writing down things that are like you, right? Like, you probably will start to think, like, I know for me, I told you I love farmhouse decor. I love Target. So anytime I share things like that, guess what? People who enjoy farmhouse decor and Target comment on my stuff. It's kind of weird how that works, right? So start writing down who it is that you want to serve. And when I say serve, I mean help, okay? Because again, with Scentsy, you guys, I know we might have a lot of new consultants on here, and maybe you're just getting your feet wet, but Scentsy is a blessing for so many people. Obviously, the Scentsy opportunity is the biggest blessing of all, but even just making people feel happy with fragrance and you know, getting to use our products is a service in itself. So I want to help you get in the mindset of service. So when you think about your passions and who you want to serve, don't just think about what it is that you want. Think about who it is that you could help with Scentsy. Who do you want to serve with Scentsy, right? Who would you like to connect with, right? So that's number 2. Who do you want to serve? And what problems, this is number 3, what problems do they have? Okay, so meaning, like, what questions would they have? What struggles might they be facing? Okay, so for me, for example, my ideal person is really my ideal team member. And again, I kind of came to this realization because I was like, I'm tired of posting products and products and products and products, and nobody's interested. Nobody wants to party. Nobody wants to host. Nobody wants to join, right? Because I'm leading with the product. I'm just sharing products, and what you put on social media is what you're going to get. So if you're only sharing products, guess what? You're going to attract customers. Okay, and we do want customers, right? So there needs to be a blend, but like, you're only going to attract customers. And so then you have your customer who you now need to get to host. Then you now need to get to join, right? It's a process. Buy, host, join. That's like Scentsy's tagline. Buy, host, join. And that's a well and proven process. And I'm not saying that you should not be focusing on building your customer base, because recruits and hosts and things like that come from our customer base. But I told you I like to do things fast. I don't like to waste time. So I want to go straight to lead with the opportunity. I want to connect with my ideal team member. I want to connect with people who want this opportunity and who could use this opportunity. Okay? So for me personally, I'm not saying this needs to be for you, but this is how I got to this space. For me personally, I want to connect with my ideal team member. So when I think about what problems my ideal team member has, well, I know my ideal team member probably is motivated. My ideal team member probably wants to build a business. My ideal team member probably maybe they've even done direct selling and they're not, really sure what to do or how to lead a team, right? So I think about what problems do they have, okay? So again, I'm sorry, now I'm drifting because I'm looking at my notes, but my ideal team member has, right, for me, I know what those problems are. So ask yourself, what are the problems that my ideal person has? What struggles, what concerns, what questions might they have? And then from there, you're going to think about what solutions you have for them. Okay, so again, going back to mine as an example, from my ideal team member, again, if they want to build a business on social media and they want to lead their teams, maybe they don't know how, maybe they're a little confused on what to do, I know the solutions that I need to provide to show them that, right? So if I have somebody that wants to use Reels in their business, but they don't know how to do Reels, or they don't have the confidence to do Reels, well, now there's my solution. I show them how to do Reels. I show them how to add the text on the Reels. I show them how to come up with content or ideas or how to get out of their comfort zone. And this is just a little example about, Reels and social media, but anything with your ideal person, after you write down who it is that you want to serve and connect with, the next question you need to ask is, what problems do they have? Because the problems is your sweet spot. Your solutions for that person, for their problems, their pain point, is where your value comes in. Okay? And so people engage on things that are valuable. And so the way you bring value is you provide solutions for people. You could do this through educating them with something. You can have maybe you have an aha moment with a customer or a team member and you go on and share that, right? Just anything that's going to help somebody is where value comes in. I would say 85% of what people comment on are value-based education. So again, what solutions do you wish you had maybe when you first started, right? What lit a fire in you that you can now solve? With your content on social media, we're always kind of talking to people who are a few steps behind us, okay? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down so far, right? Or does this feel you're on a different planet right now? Because sometimes I know even the way I explain things can kind of get a little overcomplicated. And before even really thinking about this, I didn't know about target marketing or intentional marketing. So anyway, I'm trying to give you bite-sized pieces, and hopefully this will help you look further into it, educate yourself a little bit more about it. But we're always talking to people who are a few steps behind us, okay? For me, for instance, I'm trying to teach people how to build a business on social media. I personally don't have the largest following, but I do have intention with who I'm helping, right? So somebody who is already killing it on social media with 200,000 followers and knows what they're doing with Reels and stories and all that, my content's not going to speak to them, right? I'm teaching people how to build their business on social media. So somebody who's already doing it, it's not going to matter. So it's the same thing with your content. Your content's going to speak to people who are just a few steps behind you, okay? So again, those solutions that you have are going to help those people who have that need, who have those problems, who have those struggles, okay? So let's recap. Number 1 is, what are you passionate about? Number 2, who do you want to serve and what problems do they have? And number 3, what solutions can you provide for them? 3 simple questions, okay? How can you help them? So again, this is going to take some time. I'm not expecting you to have this overnight even, or even over the next week, right? But just if you start thinking about this stuff and you ask yourself, with everything that I share on social media, does this benefit me or the person that I'm looking to serve? You are going to start being more intentional about your content, instead of just randomly throwing up oh, we have a new Disney warmer today. Whoever wants it, come get it. Do you guys get a lot of engagement on those things? Because I don't. I mean, I'm not saying you can't get engagement on that, but I just feel like it's tough, okay? A couple more like ninja hacks I want to give you guys before I let you go is how many of you have VIP groups? Raise your hand, okay? Your VIP groups are the places that people want to see Scentsy, okay? It's the places, hopefully you've asked them to be there and you didn't just mass add them. But more than likely, if they're in that group, it's because they want to be there. They want to see Scentsy. So go for it and freaking share the Scentsy things in there. Just know that you are confined in your VIP group. Especially if more than likely it's a private group, you are confined there. You're not growing outside that group. Nobody new is really coming in unless you start having people add their people, which can get inauthentic because they're not asking to be there. And anyway, that's a whole cycle and different story on its own. But that's where you stay, in that little closed group. You're not expanding. And what we need to do to truly grow our businesses and meet new people, okay? Meet new people always. That should always be your intention, whether it be through parties or whether it be on social media, right? You should always have the intention to meet new people. So try and get out of those VIP groups, or not get out, but like try and also post outside of your VIP groups, because I know so many consultants that they're like, yeah, I posted totally about my business, and like I haven't seen a business post or anything about Scentsy on their profile in like God knows how long. And so it's because they're only staying in those groups. And so if I don't see it, you know, nobody's gonna see it, right? So that's the one tip I want to let you know about the VIP groups and sharing Scentsy. And then one other thing I want to tell you is that stories, like, because I know social media can be a little overwhelming, okay? Especially like I'm throwing a lot at you, and if you're not somebody who's really like using social media to the best of your ability right now, this can seem like a lot. So I want to help you do this as simple and effectively as possible. The biggest thing with social media is just being consistent, okay? And what I personally think is a great way to get used to posting on social media and sharing about your business, sharing about your life, is on stories, like I said. So even one story a day is just so simple to do, because a story lasts for 24 hours in the news feed, okay? Versus a regular post, you know, let's say you put on Facebook or Instagram, that lasts like 90 minutes, according to the algorithm, because I'm like a nerd, okay? But like in a story, that's 24 hours. So all you really got to do to get consistent is just post one story a day, preferably a video, to get people to know you, okay? This is another hard pill to swallow, and then I'm going to answer some questions. You need to show your face. You need to show your face on social media. I don't care if you look to find your target market and you find out who these people are, what their problems are, what solutions you have. If you're not showing your face, it's going to be that much harder for you. I'm sorry. It's just going to be, you have to show your face. People need to know who they're doing business with. Okay? And I know that this is a tough pill, but I promise you, consistency helps your confidence. Consistency helps you get better. Consistency helps you find what works and find what doesn't. And the more that you do it, the easier it will become, the more comfortable you'll get, all right? But stories is a great place to do that, because it's once a day. Like, to start out, just post one story a day, and keep doing that. Do that over like the next 5 days, over the next 10 days, over the next 20 days, 30 days. Do that once a day and show your face. Start to connect with people, because this is who they join. They don't join Scentsy, they join you, okay? So I know I kind of like drifted at the end here, but I really wanted to tell you, because I think that that's super important, because none of this will matter if you're not showing who you are. All right, I'm just going to go in real quick and see if there's any questions, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I know I was on here a little bit longer than I anticipated. Funny you talk about this. What got me hooked were my plant warmers. This makes so much sense. Awesome. I love how yours looks like. Does anybody have any questions too, by the way? See it. I love how yours looks like. I have not seen it the way. I couldn't read that. I'm sorry. How often? Okay, here's a question. Erica says, how often do you share Scentsy on your personal Facebook page? So with the direction that I'm going, I talk more business related stuff. Remember, I told you I'm trying to attract my ideal team member. So I talk business related things, meaning here's how to get better with your content. Here's how to build your team. Here's how to do this. Here's how, all the things that I'm trained. I could do a training just like this in this Scentsy group on my profile. Why? Because I want to connect with people who want to know about these things. Okay. But like I will for sure talk about Scentsy, like Scentsy specifically, I will for sure talk about like from time to time on my regular profile, but in my stories is really where I live. That's why I was saying stories so much. I feel like stories is easy because you can just quickly, you know, you can intertwine Scentsy and anything else about your passions or what you love to do on stories. So I talk about Scentsy specifically more on my stories than I do like my feed. My feed is like for the person that I want to connect with. Because if somebody goes to my profile, what are they going to see? Ask yourself, if somebody goes to your profile, whether it be on Instagram or Facebook, what are the first 5 or 6 posts that they're going to see? Are they going to see only shop my website, corporate flyer, this special, right? Or are they, maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't even know you sell Scentsy. Maybe it's not of value to them. The things that you're sharing are not of value. So maybe do a little bit of a profile cleanup and say, hey, what is this going to look like when someone comes to my profile? Let's see. Someone said, I saw something that said something with Reels before. I started taking selfies with product. Need to work on doing more videos. Yeah, selfies with product are awesome. Selfies. Listen. If it's not video, post the selfies. I just mean people need to see your face. But yes, video is always going to be, honestly, the quickest way to grow. Okay, I think that's it. If you guys don't have any questions, I'll let you go. I just got on, I guess, yes, watch the beginning. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that this was helpful for you and that it wasn't too overwhelming. But definitely, like I said, start to think about these things as you're sharing on social media. And I feel like that will definitely help you be more intentional about your content. So, sorry, real quick. So life and stories and business, host to join on profile is basically what you do. No, I mean, I don't really have like a set, like, hey, I only post business here, I only do that. Honestly, I mostly hang in my stories, and when I talk, you know, if I'm sharing product specials or if I'm talking about an opportunity special or things like that, I usually do on my stories, but I mean, I don't not post them on my feeds. So, anyway, okay, hope that this was helpful for you guys. I'm so glad that I had the chance to come here and chat with you. Also, too, I linked my Instagram. This is not like a plug. I mean, you don't have to follow me, but I do share business tips on Instagram, on social media. Specifically using Reels. I love Reels. It's a really great way to grow and meet people. But I share on there. Like, you'll be able to see the way that I share on there, like how I share my business, how I, you know, we'll talk about, you'll see, just go if you want to see. If I don't get off now, I'm going to keep talking. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Talk to you soon.